Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. The C&P exam is often a confusing process, and it makes it even more problematic when you are going to a doctor that might not actually seem that prepared for what they are supposed to be doing. There was a hearing on this, and the headline here from the publication Stars and Stripes is lawmakers hear about problems with medical exams that determine veterans' disability benefits. Is this going to impact the veterans' disability claims process, specifically the C&P, compensation and pension exam process? Are we going to see more changes with regard to VA disability compensation? What are the impacts of this hearing, right? Are they just having hearings to have hearings, or will there actually be action that follows? I will tell you that I have heard horror story after horror story of individuals who went to C&P exams that was like, down the alley, through the back door, knock 7 times, kick the chicken and keep moving on. So I'm interested to see what the take is here from Stars and Stripes. Now, before we jump into it, I do want to throw on a special thank you to Randy J10. Randy J10, thank you so much for the super comment, super chat. I really do appreciate your support very much. All right, so let's jump into this. Lawmakers hear about problems with medical exams that determine veterans' disability benefits. Linda Hershey, Stars and Stripes, November 20th, 2025. Sharing it with you here today. Please hit well, you get it. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. Tripping over my own tongue. All right, so problems with the privately contracted disability exams veterans undergo to determine their benefits were the focus of a House Veterans Subcommittee, House Veterans Affairs Subcommittee hearing Thursday that revealed cases of medical reviews done in, go guess it, hotel rooms. I would love to know, any of you watching, if you had that type of a scenario, or where was a strange place that maybe you had an exam. Now, I get it. The bigger the reach this thing has, the more people will see it, and the more weird answers that we'll get. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get some answers. So hotel rooms, one, veterans sent to the wrong exams or examiners assigned to determine benefits for injuries and illnesses they've never before treated. So in some cases, these medical providers who are doing these C&P exams, sure, they're a medical, whatever, they got the letters after their last name, but maybe they don't deal with arthritis, right? Maybe they're 2 years into having those letters behind their last name and they haven't even really done too much. There's all kinds of disparity, I think, when it comes to C&P and the level of experience from the examiners themselves. So that alone is cause for concern, especially when the VA weighs that evidence so heavily, even compared to a doctor who's been treating you for X condition, and they supply all that information, right? This is why, by the way, why they give it so much weight is because it is put together exactly how the VA needs it. So it spells out everything they need for the ability to either rule for you or against you with regard to service connection, and it gives them the exact information they need to apply the correct rating. Ideally, that's what the C&P exams are for. So if you go to your regular doctor, and your regular doctor's treated you for 10 years for condition X, and you say, hey doc, I'm getting ready to file a claim with the VA. Could you do me a favor and complete a Nexus Letter and a DBQ, Disability Benefits Questionnaire? The doctor says, sure, just leave that information at the front desk and give me a week or two. Okay, cool. So you go leave a little note or whatever with the front desk, and you pull up a DBQ online, or you have them do it and they print it out or whatever, and there it is. And you leave and you come back and you pick those up. Although that doctor is more intimate with you and they understand and they might even be an expert in that field, they're not going to probably complete the DBQ correctly in the world of VA. Okay, because the world of VA is not just medical, it is also legal. So you almost need to have a hybrid attorney doctor who is working for you. Now, what happens is they don't put it together the way the VA needs it, and it can actually cause more harm than good in a lot of cases. If you need a solid DBQ, Nexus Letter, any of that type of stuff, reach out to AME, American Medical Experts. Their information's in the description and below. And if you need help with your claim and you can't find a free accredited resource, reach out to us, Evidence-Based VA Claims. Again, information is in the description and in the comments. We're happy to help. We'll do a free email consultation. And then if you come on board with us for some coaching, we guarantee that you will get an increase or a new service-connected condition. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Lawmakers shared with officials that the Department of Veterans Affairs Lawmakers shared with officials from the Department of Veterans Affairs the complaints their offices frequently receive from veterans who must have the disability medical exams that are critical for deciding monthly disability compensation. More than 90% of veterans' disability medical exams are done by private contractors under a multi-year contract with a budget ceiling of $13 billion. Here's a quotation. "That's an enormous operation, and it demands serious oversight," said Representative Morgan Luttrell, chairman of the House VA Subcommittee on Disability Assistance and Memorial Affairs. Another quotation, "Improving outcomes for disabled veterans, oversight of VA's Medical Disability Examination Office was the title of the 90-minute hearing that reviewed problems identified in the program and VA's response to them. Disability medical exams document the evidence related to a veteran's illness and injuries connected to military service. Millions of veterans each year face the medical reviews." A director from the Government Accountability Office also testified that nearly $2.3 million in overpayments of financial incentives were made to the private contractors that held the exams. Now think about that for a second. $2.3 million in overpayments for financial incentives to these C&P contracted docs. Wow, that's just insane. Conducting quality exams is important because errors can result in costly rework and delays in processing claims, said Elizabeth Curta, the GAO's Director of Education, Workforce and Income Security. Curta reported to the GAO's findings from audits of the disability medical exam program in 2024 and 2025. The GAO identified breakdowns in how the VA identifies and corrects problems in the way exams are conducted, as well as in awarding incentive payments to contractors. If an exam is wrong, incomplete, inaccurate, or delayed, the veteran might not receive the benefits they earned from their service, Luttrell said. The VA's Medical Disability Examination Office has lacked written procedures for checking the accuracy of its calculations and awarding the bonuses, resulting in almost $2.3 million in overpayments in fiscal 2024, Curtis said. The GAO recommended ways to improve the exams and ensure that incentive bonuses for contractors, which are based on timeliness, quality, and customer experience, are awarded correctly. The VA also fell behind conducting quality checks of the exams for complex medical problems such as traumatic brain injury, Gulf War illness, and military sexual trauma. In September, the VA's Medical Disability Examination Office said it planned to extend the timeline from a 2-year to 3-year schedule because staff who conduct complex claim reviews had been reduced by half, according to the GAO report. The office also recouped the overpayments to contractors, said Mary Glenn, Deputy Executive Director of the VA Medical Disability Examination Office. But Representative Jack Bergman said he is still concerned about the frequency of complaints by veterans who say their medical records with information on the diagnosis and treatment of service-connected conditions were not sent to the examiner. So here's the thing. When you think to yourself, wow, this really sucked, something didn't seem right, it's all weird, reach out to your congressional office, right? Let them know. Throw it out there and let them know, because you're not the only one. And the more people that hear it, the better. And I'll even throw this out there. What I would do is send it to your congressional member, right? Your district, whatever district you're in, send it to your congressional member. And also send it to, like, a veterans committee at the House or the Senate or both, right? Get it in two hands. You don't know there's a problem until you start hearing it from a lot of people. One person, not that big of a deal. 1,000 people, bigger deal. 10,000 people, something's really going on. 100,000 people, wow, the place is on fire. We urge the Medical Disability Examination Office to review its process for forwarding medical evidence to examiners. Glenn said the examiners receive everything in a veteran claim folder. It is done automatically as soon as the veteran is scheduled, she said. The examiner's job is to review the entire file. Representative Morgan McGarvey said that in too many instances, the system fails too many veterans. McGarvey said he has heard complaints from constituents mistakenly sent to exams that had nothing to do with their medical condition. McGarvey said he even received complaints from veterans whose disability medical exams were conducted in hotel rooms and not at a medical office. The Medical Disability Examination Office thinks everything is running smoothly, but it does not match up with what we are seeing, McGarvey said. And that is the truth. I've seen bunches of comments here. I've heard situations that were suspect in my time as an accredited veteran service officer. Moving on here. Paralyzed Veterans of America, great organization, the PVA, also complained in written testimony that some medical offices where exams were conducted could not accommodate wheelchairs, which seems weird since it's a medical facility. Glenn said the VA has tightened requirements for examination space and launched an online portal in September that allows examiners to provide the VA with feedback, ask questions, and offer ideas for improvement. Last quotation here. I know you are working on fixing problems, Luttrell said to Glenn and other VA officials at the hearing, but we will never let that be enough. You will be back in front of us, and we will ask the same questions again. With that, thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.